Hello and welcome to today's Dragon's Daily Dose. It's Smaugonite here, and today I'm going to be talking about the list that I'm putting together for the Genestealer Cult. Now, we did a video where we talked about what list I would be wanting to take, but I've actually since then put a lot of thought into it, and the direction that I'm going to take it has kind of changed a little bit. And it does come with some help from steady painting. Purely for doing the base coating and getting some painting done for the models that I'm using. And what it involves actually is the other core formation for the Genestealer Cult, which I've got up on the screen at the moment. So I've put the whole sort of formation detachment on the screen at the moment. But basically what it is I want to take the Neophyte Cavalcade, which is 2 units of Neophyte hybrids, 1 Lehman Russ squadron, and 1 to 2 of the following units in any combination of Sentinels, Scout or Armoured. Now, what I've got is 2 units of Neophyte hybrids. One restriction of taking this core formation is that each unit of Neophyte hybrids must take a Chimera as a dedicated transport, which I've got the 2 Chimeras, which Steady Painting has base coated for me. I've then got a Lehman Russ squadron. As I mentioned the other day, I'm using the Rogal Dawn tank in lieu of the Lehman Russ squadron. I still have 2 Lehman Russes in the box, still not built, but I want to save them for my actual Rolling Thunder Guard army, because I've said this before, I don't think the Rogal Dawn tank fits the aesthetic of the 40k Guard army. So what I've done is I've basically had these 2 Rogal Dawn tanks sitting around, just built and sprayed, doing nothing. I couldn't bring myself to paint them, really. I then had to spend an extra £11 each to get somebody to 3D print a base plate, because why on earth they did a model that didn't have an undercarriage, I don't know. I think it was probably room on the sprue. But all the other tanks have underneath carriages. So I got them as full models, but I just couldn't bring myself to paint them in the same scheme. So they're going to be used as my 2 Lehman Russes. And then I've got 2 Armoured Sentinels. So I do have the old Sentinels for these. And the reason I've got the old ones is because the new ones, they're quite a little bit, well, they're on a bigger base, but they're a little bit bulkier and bigger. And I've got 2 of those. But I kind of like the new one. It just, to me, I like it. So it's going to go for my normal Rolling Thunder army. On top of this, so basically I'm going to take the Neophyte Cavalcade, and as the core. I'm then going to take the first Curse, which is 1 Patriarch and 1 unit of Pure Strain Genestealers. The only restriction to this formation is that the unit of Pure Strain Genestealers must contain 20 models. Not a problem, I have 20 of those, we're all set and ready to go. I then also was looking at, so this is something in the last video where I didn't realise, and after talking with Minion about it, I've realised that I'm going to use my Aberrants and Hybrid Metamorphs and Acolyte Hybrids for a different formation, and that different formation is the Subterranean Uprising. There's no restrictions for it, so you just have to take what you want out of this list, but it gets cool rules of the cool ambush, and you get to roll 2 dice instead of 1 and choose either result. If the Primus is with the unit, you can roll 3 dice and then select any of those results. So it helps you out with your cult ambush, which is really cool, because if you can get a better cult ambush roll, then that's always going to be appreciated. So those are the main 3. One thing I would like to do, and I have built the models ready, is I would want to do more of the first Curse, just because that's what I think is really cool, like a Patriarch leading a unit of Pure Strain Genestealers. I just think that's really cool. I do have 2 other Patriarch models that I'm proxying from the Von Ryan's Leapers. excuse me, the Von Ryan's Leapers from the new Leviathan set, the starter set that came out last year. So I've got 2 of those that I'm going to be proxying, and then I also have the new Death Leaper model as my main Patriarch. So I do have the option to be able to take the Lords of the Cult, the 1 Patriarch, on top of that, just as like that's the leader. Obviously it's a bit bigger than the actual Patriarch model. I do have a Patriarch model. I don't have anything against the Patriarch model. What I do have is the sort of, I don't want to have the same Patriarch model over and over and over again, so that's why I'm using proxies here and there. But no, that's sort of the plan, and I have given myself, officially given myself the challenge to get all of this painted by the time Minion and I's game rolls around. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not I can do all this by then. I do need help from Steady Painting to be able to get the base coating done of the vehicles, which she's nearly finished. I don't have any of the rock grinders in or anything like that as of yet. We'll see how many points the Minion and I do for this game before I start focusing on things like that. But it is just going to be focusing on the actual Neophyte Cavalcade, First Curse, and the Subterranean Uprising. So that's going to be my main focus. And as I say, that board is a Zone Mortalis board, so it is going to lend itself a little bit better, or Necromunda, not Zone Mortalis, sorry. It's going to lend itself a little bit better to not so many vehicles on the table. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything for today. I thought I'd just go through sort of my thoughts and what Minion and I have been talking about for how we're going to approach this Genestealer Cult plan. Yeah, I'm very excited, and I'm really looking forward to getting this painted. And there's been a bit of a, how to say it, there's been a bit of a hassle this week trying to get some spray, because Colourforge have stopped doing the Drakescale Green spray, which is exactly the one that I use for all of my Tyrannid models for the Genestealer Cult. And of course, I start to run out of a can, and then I get in touch with Colourforge to order some more, and they turn around and say to me that they are no longer doing this, it's not available. And I asked if it was going to come back, and they said never say never, we'll keep you informed if it comes back. So with that, I then went to lots of different third parties and tried to order. Some aren't able to ship sprays, so it's collection only, but they're like 4 or 5 hours away from me. But I managed to actually find a third party that does ship sprays, so shout out to Glasshammer Gaming. So I managed to get 4 cans of that, and they have been delivered, and they are safe at the studio, ready for me to use. But it does mean at the end of those 4 cans of spray, I will no longer be able to paint anything Genestealer Cult. So I am trying to be clever with what I'm going to spray that colour, and what I'm going to base coat and then do the Screamer Pink for the vehicles. Okay, so yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind week, you know, sort of trying to fight to get these sprays to me. I'm just grateful, as I say, to Glasshammer Gaming for being able to get me the sprays very quickly. Actually, I ordered them, I think it was one afternoon, and they were here not the next day but the next morning, so I was very happy with that. So yeah, thank you very much. That's pretty much everything for today. I know I've sort of dribbled on a little bit, but yeah, it's an exciting time for the Genestealer Cult and where I'm going to take them. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. A subscribe and a like is really appreciated for this video. You know, please, we're trying to get the channel to grow, and those sort of things really help us out. So yeah, thank you very much. Until next time, keep those brushes moving, your armies ready, and your imagination soaring. See you tomorrow.